Okay, welcome to Kung Fu Hack number 2. My name is James Williams Jr. There are two martial arts from Brazil that I am going to specifically talk about in this video. This may be a two-parter, it may not. So let us begin with Brazil. Brazil is a South American continent, or it's a country in South America, or whatever. Alright, so Brazil has a lot of great things. But this video specifically is the two things that I know about Brazil. The only two things I know about Brazil. You have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Horace Gracie, and you have Capoeira with the black dude from Only the Strong whose name I can't pronounce. Alright. And not Mark Dacascos, because he's not black. Alright, so let's talk about martial arts from Brazil. Alright, I'm only specifically going to talk about the only two that I know. I know there's more than two now. But in the 90s, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu made its debut and explosion, and Capoeira also made its debut and explosion. Now, people have been sleeping on Capoeira, so we're going to touch on that last. We're going to touch on the martial art that I totally fucking suck at, alright? Totally fucking suck. Totally fucking suck. I sucked at it in Delta Company, and I probably suck at it right now. That martial art is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, alright? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a form of Jiu-Jitsu that has been upgraded or manipulated or adapted by Horace Gracie with a lot of judo and Jiu-Jitsu grabs, tackles, throws, and grips and locks and triangles and shit like that. Alright, which is great if you can get your opponent on the ground. Alright? So, basically, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a bunch of takedowns, throws, and how can I hold you, put you in a lock, triangle you, lock you up, and try to make you tap out. Or break an extremity of your body. So basically, this is the guy, we're in a clinch, I clip his foot, we're down, I'm on top of him, I got side mount, it's called side mount, I think it's called side mount, so I have side mount now, alright? Now he's going to get in guard, because he's under me, so he's in guard. I'm on top, I'm establishing dominance, I have side mount. Alright, so I have side mount, and I have him down, and now he's going to wiggle his way out of guard into a mount. So he has three options. He has side mount, he has top mount, and he has bottom mount. So now, these are definitely not the way they sound. Alright? The reason why I have side mount, I'm sideways on top. So basically, side mount and top mount is the same thing. I'm going for an arm bar, or I'm going for a triangle because I'm at the top of him. Now, if I have bottom mount, I'm at his legs, we're in a lock, and I'm going for a toe hold or a leg lock. So I have bottom mount. Does that make sense to you? Now, if I have side mount, I'm in side mount and he's in guard. So that means he's covered up and he's exposed. I have his lapel, and I'm going to either sprawl around him while I'm on my stomach on top of his stomach, or he's going to roll while he's in guard from his back to his stomach, so he's in guard too. Now, I'm probably saying this wrong. It's been a long time since I've been in the fucking army, but this is the second guard where he's on his back and I'm on top of him, where he's on his stomach and I'm on his back. Now, he rolled over while I was inside guard, and in that attempt to keep me off of him, he's going to either do a judo, grab my hand, and pull me under, and then he's going to be in the dominant form of top guard. Alright? You understand how that works? I wish I had a person here to help me demonstrate that shit. Now, when he done yoked me over, and now he's in top guard, he's establishing dominance, he has one of my appendages, so he's going to either try to break it, put it in an arm lock, or, you know, where my arm is between his legs, he's going to try to hyperextend my elbow, and my counter is to grab and lock my hand so that he can't. But if he's stronger, he's going to do that. So I have an option. I can roll with it and try to grab and lock my hand and pick him up and try to body slam him. It's a whole bunch of technical shit to that. Without a sparring partner or a dummy, I cannot demonstrate that to you. But there's a lot of grips, there's a lot of grapples, there's a lot of body slams going on in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When I was in the army and I was learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I had to wear my ACU, the guy had me by the lapel. I had to one arm here on his arm with a C-clamp. So my hand was like, it wasn't like this, but it was like this. So I had the C-clamp like this on his arm, and he had both of his arms here, and I had to put my other arm between his elbows, which was in there. So I had to do this, and try to roll him with my foot. Well, the guy was like 6'9", and every bit of 270 pounds, and I could not get him the fuck off me. I'm sorry, my brother soldier. I headbutted him in the nuts. I slid my arms under his, and I headbutted him in his shit. Because I couldn't get him off me. Simple as that. I could not get him off me. So, rolling him over was not happening. So, every time the drill sergeant turned away, I stuck my head down. Now, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's a lot of grappling, there's a lot of locking, and if you don't have a lot of upper body strength, or if you can't wiggle out, you're in deep shit. Simple as that. You're in deep, deep shit. And I don't like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just for the simple fact that you're on your back a lot. And if you're not on your back, you're on all fours. And I'm not comfortable either way. So you have to realize how that works for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because the thing with that is that if you don't have a ground game for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you can hang it up. You're going against somebody with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu experience. If they get you on the ground, you're theirs for the taking. Alright? So let's get off of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a moment. We're going to get into Capoeira now. Capoeira, I don't really need a demonstrator to show you how it works. I just need you to know this much about Capoeira. So with Capoeira, everything starts with your Ginga. So your Ginga, right, left, right, left. Why is my hands doing that? This is blocking. Alright? So if it was karate, it would be like this. But for Capoeira, I just keep it here, and I keep it simple. And as I step right, I twist to the left. If I step left, I twist to the right. And my Ginga goes out. Now, if you're doing Kung Fu and you're doing Drunken Master, the sway is still the same. But the sway is not the same as the Ginga for stepping. Because in Drunken Master, you just sway upper body, where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you don't do that at all. Where Capoeira, your Ginga, you step. It's a little dance here and there. So in doing that, you have to be able to move from your next move. There's no room in here, but from here you can touch the ground and do a spinning hook kick. Jiu-Jitsu doesn't have any of that. Capoeira has a whole lot of gymnastic ass fighting in it. And if you are going to take anything from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you need to take that the ground game needs to be at ace point level. Where my ground game was Z, as in 0. My ground game sucked. Now granted, I got a little bit better at it by the time I got out of Delta Company, but we only did GFT every other, like, Saturday or some shit. Or sometimes we did it 3 days a week, but most of the time, as Drill Sergeant Hayes would say, don't think that you're going to go out into the world and think that you're going to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master and shit like that, because you need more time than what we are allowed to give you. But for medicinal purposes and for all training purposes, the BJJ that they're teaching you in the Army is effective training. Alright? So, yes, the Army does have specialized training in most cases, but it really just, you need to pick up an extra martial art while you're there. Okay? Which another drill sergeant, when I had to do guard duty, another drill sergeant had straight told us, this shit's gonna get you killed. You might want to pick up an extra martial art. And I agreed with him, and he agreed with me, and he asked me, he's like, "You're a martial artist?" I said, "I was always a martial artist." I said, "I was a martial artist before I got here." He said, "How do you feel about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?" I said, "That shit sucks." But that's just my personal opinion. But everybody loves Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Not me, but everybody else loves Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And if that's your thing, hey, knock yourself out. But here's my thing on that. All martial arts work until they don't. Okay? And don't think for a minute that the martial arts won't work. Alright? Some martial arts will work. Situational. Some martial arts will not work. A lot of grabbing and grappling for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu will work. But they won't work on someone who has experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They also won't work on someone who you can't not get a hold of. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu works on a lot of the judo principle of I got to get a hold of you first. So I got a hold of you, and I can throw you around, then I got you. But let's say I go to grab you, and you Jenga, or you do some crazy ass shit to get out the way, and I fall. Then you got me. The thing with, like, let's go to Japan real quick. We're going to bring in regular Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. Regular Jiu-Jitsu and Judo is a system of grabbing points, of pressure points, and locks and takedowns. Judo itself is just throwing people around. It's using their momentum against themselves. It's sidestepping and tripping and throwing. It's grabbing them, twisting, pulling and throwing. And whatever you do on this side, you gotta do on this side. And that's how this thing really works. My camera just froze. Okay, it's back. So anyway, that's sending me a message. Anyway, the whole point of any martial art is that it is a system of fighting or being a better fighter at fighting. If that doesn't make sense to you, you're not a martial artist and you have no idea what the hell I mean. If it does make sense to you, thank you for being able to understand what the hell I mean. But for the most part, if you are a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person, which most people prefer now because they want their ground game, the thing about having a good ground and pound game is that you have to get your opponent from point A, standing up, to point B, on their back. And if they know how to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if they can roll with you, and they know how to get in guard, or they can transcend from guard to mount better than you can, what have you done? You have pretty much screwed yourself. Alright? Where Capoeira, on the other hand, Capoeira is one of the most unpredictable martial arts. Alright? And I say that lovingly because you cannot always read someone's moves by their Jenga. I'm fairly good at it. I'm not the best at it, but I can tell you, if you can read somebody's Jenga very well, if you can stop them from getting started, like as soon as they break into the Jenga and they get their little Jenga sway stepping thing going on, if you can stop them from their first move, you can probably stop them from beating your ass with the aerobatics that is Capoeira. Alright? And if you can't, then you have a problem. Alright? Now, the thing with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is that, it's a lot of rolling on the ground. It's a lot of it. It's a lot of unnecessary rolling, and I'm not one of those people. If I'm on your back and I'm on a side mount, I'm going to elbow you in the face. And if I'm really feeling evil that day, I'm going to elbow you in the side of your fucking neck. Because when they was teaching us mounting in the Army, when I had side mount, I'm on top of your chest, and I'm on side mount. The guy I was partnered with could always scoop me up because he was 6'4", and he was every bit of 300 pounds, and he could roll me over easily because I didn't have any weight. And I weighed like $130, so at that to him, that's like being what I weigh now, like 114. So that's like nothing for him because he had like the heaviest lift in class. So he could have just done that, which he could do if I wasn't quick enough to feel that coming. So I had to keep trying to transcend so that he couldn't roll me over. And the thing with that is, if he really wanted to, all he had to do was just stand up. Now, all he had to do was just like, if he couldn't maneuver me, all he had to do was just lock hands and stand the fuck up. Because that's what would have worked in real life. But we weren't allowed to do what we knew in real life, and the drill sergeant made sure we knew that when he smoked me for headbutting this guy in the nuts. So, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not my thing. I'm never going to say a martial art is completely ineffective, but for me, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was ineffective on the way that I can't use it on somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. I can't use it on somebody who was like 6 foot, nothing but muscle, and could outmaneuver me on the ground. Now the only thing that made the difference between him and I was that I have fighting experience and that I have speed. Alright? But the guy was younger and he was stronger, and had he had a little bit more fighting experience, it wouldn't have been a problem. But the thing with people who are like omega tall, they don't have too many people trying to jump on their ass trying to fight them. Where somebody like me who's like omega short, someone's always trying to beat my ass. Always. from grade school to high school to college, someone's always trying to beat my ass because I'm small, you know. And that's the surprise to them is that, you know, dynamite comes in small packages too. So when you're doing a martial art from Brazil, I always tell people how I feel about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not going to say not do it because I don't like it. Hey, if it works for you, knock yourself out. But for me, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I learned how to use it. I hope that if I'm ever in a situation where I'm fighting someone who only knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that I'm wise enough to recognize it so that they don't get to use it on me and that I can take their ass out versus them getting me on the ground and me realizing, oh, fuck, I done fucked up. You know, because once that happens, you know, your ass is committed to catching that ass whooping. It's just that simple. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I'm willing to commit to. Taking an ass whooping is not one of them. Alright? I'm committed to giving one, but I'm not committed to taking one. And your fight situation will always be different. Alright? I'm going to make a video about that as well. So, this is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. My opinions on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus Capoeira. I am very biased, and I am more of a Capoeira fan than a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fan because I've taken both. I've taken Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the Army because I didn't have an option of not taking it because Delta Company teaches Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu while Bravo Company taught Taekwondo. I wasn't in golf long enough to teach anything or take anything because I wanted to kill a drill sergeant or two, so they shifted my ass to Delta. I would say that if you put me in a ring, or if you put me in a place where I was given the option of taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or taking Capoeira, I would go for Capoeira every time. And the reason that is because Capoeira is a more free martial art. It does have forms or moves or whatever, but you are not limited to the ground. And for those who don't know, this is your extra for Capoeira. Capoeira does teach you how to fight on your back. It really does. And in case the Jenga does fail, Capoeira does have a few moves in its arsenal that if you are laying flat on your back, you can fight off your back. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu also has moves that you can fight off your back. The problem with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is that if you're on your back and someone is mightier or stronger and has a better skill set, I'm not going to say that they're a better fighter, they just have a better skill set at that specific martial art. It's more than likely you're probably going to take an L. Alright, let's just keep the shit real. It's more than likely you're going to take an L. I know, I'm going to take an L. So if I'm fighting somebody with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills and they're better than what I was taught in the Army, I have a problem. So I'm not going to stay there and allow that shit to happen. Where most people in a fight, they panic and they forget where they're supposed to be. They forget that they're in the fight. Because if you get hit right and you're dazed, you know, there's just no telling what the hell's going to happen next. Except for you're going to sleep. So I'm James Williams, Kung Fu Havoc number 2, B, C, and U.